Welcome to Palm Paradise, powered by Boca Magazine. I'm Christiana Lilly.
I'm Portia Smith-Jean.
I'm Olivia Holaus.
And we are the Palm Queens. We're reunited, Portia. Don't leave us again.
I know. We missed you. It wasn't the same.
I know. I'm sorry, ladies. But I thought that you guys were in good. You guys did great without me, though.
I like to think that if I was gone, you guys would miss me as much as we missed you. We were just the simpatico.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were gone, we'd probably miss you a little more because you keep us in check.
It's true. So Christiana, for everybody out there, Christiana definitely keeps us in check. She keeps us organized, run of show. Really, hey, Olivia, you're going to do this. Portia, you're going to do that. You really are the editor-in-chief for Palm Paradise.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, speaking of editor-in-chief, this month is my 1-year anniversary back at Boca Magazine.
That went by fast.
I know. One of my coworkers was like, you started in September, right? I'm like, does that mean I'm unmemorable or it's just gone by so fast?
I think obviously not the former.
I was like, sir. And he was like, didn't you start? I'm like, no.
Now, do you feel like you've got the hang of things now?
No.
Okay.
I think you did.
No, I do, but I have to remind myself that my predecessor was there for 34 years. And when she came down here, she also was getting to know people and getting her name out. And, I'm trying to, get the lay of the land, not only the technical part of the job, you can learn that. It's really just embedding yourself in the community and getting to know people and having people come to you with stories and, these are interesting people or we did this, and not just people relying on PR.
I will say, your memory is amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're so good with names and organizations and brands and companies, you do a great job, remembering everybody and still making them feel seen. So kudos to you.
Thanks,
I'd be
guys.
It's so true.
If it was me, I'd be like, hey, girl, hey.
They don't have to know. They don't have to know.
No, it's so true. She does. You basically have a great memory.
Seriously, you do.
And then I don't have anything left for my personal life.
But Portia, so you went up to UCF to see your eldest.
I
She's
did.
finishing up her first semester at UCF.
Yeah.
How are things going up there?
So she's living her best life. Things are going really good. She's getting the hang of it. She has enough credits where I guess at the end of this semester she's going to be a sophomore, even though it's her first one. So I guess
what
that
a
was
nerd.
Overachiever. I was gonna say,
like her mom.
So now it's figuring out getting her out of the dorm situation and now into an apartment, and that just seems like a lot for me.
It's fast.
It's very fast.
I mean, at least give you a year, but there's
Well, I remember when you were talking about moving her into her dorm and you were sending us a video, here's her dorm.
Yeah, and it felt like that was yesterday. So I feel like I'm struggling way more than she's struggling because it's a lot of first as a parent. Not a lot of first because I did all of these things. Me as her mom, I'm like, what you mean you're going to get an apartment? But and it's a lot of FaceTimes of cooking and measurements. And she's like, how do you do this? And I'm like, just eyeball it. Just eyeball it.
That's the true mom cooking. I watch my mom too. And she'll be like, when it's enough.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. You just know. And I'm like, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Read the recipe.
She's having a good old time.
Good.
Good old time.
That's awesome. Good.
As we knew she would.
Yes.
Little baby Jaylee's all grown up.
I know. Oh.
Well, we're glad you're back because we were definitely missing you.
Yes.
Well, we were also joking before we came on today at how you dropped the ball with your second kid.
Oh, big
Poor
time.
second kid. So at the time that we're filming this, it's spring break.
Yeah.
Or was spring break.
Yeah, was. And I don't know. Spring break for some reason started on a Tuesday. That threw me off, guys. Plus, we just were in Orlando. That also threw me off, guys. So I assumed school was on Monday. Why wouldn't it be? Why would they do that?
It's the start of the week.
You know what I mean? And I was like, hey, get ready for school. Get everything. Go to sleep early. Set your alarm.
On a Sunday.
And she was very late at night. She was like, you sure we got school tomorrow? And I was like, yes, you definitely have school tomorrow. And she was like, all my friends are saying we don't have school tomorrow. And then I looked it up, and lo and behold, her friends were right. So that's probably the last time you'll ever hear me say that sentence. Her friends were right. But
And never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it would make more sense if it started on Monday. I feel like they're just school district just wants to play games with us parents.
Seriously.
I mean, I don't want to play the back in my day, but I remember like for Thanksgiving, you would just have Thanksgiving Day and then Friday off, and that's it. And now they have the whole week off.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
What do they need to be home for?
I don't know. My parents were glad that we only had to they're like, do they have to?
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because for my 4-year-old, that Friday when we were picking, the Friday before spring break, I must have had 5 teachers tell me, it's a half day. It's a half day. Got the email the night before, got the messages that morning, dropped him off at school. It's a half day. I'm like, guys, I know. They were so excited to go on spring break, whereas us as parents are like, okay, now the work is starting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know that there's parents out there that are not going to pick up their kids on time, and that's why they're like, it's a half day.
That's true.
A half day.
This is
Big
true.
time,
like,
time.
A Porsche.
Let the record show.
To go there, but it's all
Let the record show. I think I've only done that a handful of times. No,
it's all in good fun.
And between the two of them, too. You know what I mean? No, I was babysitting my friend's kids, and I don't know what happened. She was like, can you pick them up from school? I totally miscalculated how long it would take me to get to their school. The school was like shut down. It was dark. They were like waiting in the front office, and like I'm calling them and I'm like, I'm coming, da 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 da. And they're like asking for my ID, and they were like, we were waiting for you. And I was
Did they
like,
give you a smile when they said that?
They thought it was. I mean, I think the kids thought it was funny. The like teachers there, they're like, I had to wait at this damn school
that's
for you.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The teachers always give you this look like.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I was like, I'm not experienced with this. I've never done pickup before.
today.
I'm helping. I'm
Well,
a
then I
childless
won't be
person.
calling you if I need help.
Exactly.
Note to self: hit up Olivia.
I know. I was coming from Boca, and I had to pick them up at like their elementary school in Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, I can get there in 45 minutes. I couldn't get there in 45
Was
minutes.
this recent?
No, it was years ago,
Okay.
but it was still
Well,
like.
It feels like yesterday.
It feels like, I know. And I had to tell her mom, and they were like, it's fine, whatever.
You know what's funny though? All jokes aside, I'm pretty good at picking up the kids on time, like historically. Because as a kid, my mom would never pick me up on time.
So you've got a little PTSD right
Big
there.
time PTSD. I'm talking about not a little bit. She wouldn't be talking about hours. Hours.
So it's like little Portia with her backpack on the
Yeah.
sidewalk sitting there.
Maybe not in elementary, but for sure middle and high. And I would just randomly find and discover new things in the school. Like just random. And me and like the janitors got like
You got close.
I'd be like, I don't know. Let's find if we can like get into the classroom. I don't know. It was
You have a memoir on your hands. It's like
I
me and the
do.
janitor.
I don't know if I
Stories
Maybe
from
we
after
should invite
school.
the janitor on as a podcast guest.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. But yeah, PTSD for sure.
Well, we have a really great guest today.
We do.
And it's gonna
not a
make
janitor.
No. So stay tuned because we've got an amazing guest and you won't want to miss it.
And today we have Christie Galeano-DeMott. She is our food editor at Boca Magazine, and she's going to tell us the inside secrets about being a food reviewer.
Yay.
Welcome, Christie.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah. We have so many questions.
Yeah.
Give it to me. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. So you and I actually go way back.
Yes.
We met at a mutual friends party, and you've been freelancing for a long time, and now how long have you been back at Boca Magazine? Before I came back, obviously.
Yes, I think I'm going into my 5th year.
Okay.
Wow.
So I came in like right like mid 2020. Like it was still like the height of the
my
pandemic.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go in, was we were like Portia was joking that we need to like conceal your identity because you do food reviews.
the blurred figure.
She's in witness protection. When you make a reservation, because you obviously don't do media dines, you're actually going in and you're a regular customer.
Correct. They
Do
don't know
you
I'm
use
coming.
a fake name or like use somebody else's name when you're making a reservation, or how does that work with
Yeah,
you?
so all of my Resi and open tables are under a different name.
Yeah.
And when I go on my own, I sometimes forget. So they sometimes can't find my name, and then I'm like, oh wait, I forgot it's a different name.
It's actually
The alter ego.
It's actually Regina Phalange for my friends out there.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, I would have so much fun with the names. Do you choose the same name?
Yes, because everything's like open table resi, so it's just like that profile that they've pulled
Gotcha.
from.
You must have
I would
so
be
many
like
points.
Beyonce. They'd be like, your name is Beyonce. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Beyonce.
There can be more than one.
Last name, no last name.
Oh.
And so when you're going in, what are some things that you're looking for? As I know when you're just eating, you can just eat. But now here you're
Right.
like, are you there with, I've never actually gone on a food review dinner
Yeah, you
with
need
you.
to come with me.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll both have fake identities.
We should all go.
I want to see this in
All the ladies are
action.
invited.
Can I be Beyonce?
Absolutely.
I'll be
let
Lady
you make the
Gaga.
Or we'll just be like the original, like Destiny's Child. I'm Michelle. Okay, so, but are you there with like a notebook? Are you having to be discreet? You know, what's your process and what are you looking for when you go
Yes.
into a restaurant?
Thankfully, now we have cell phones, so I usually just look like the rude person at the table. And if I do have guests, I have to, explain I'm not ignoring you. I'm taking notes. So that's the way I get around the paper, the notepad that I feel like
Because you are a notepad girl.
I am. I love my paper and pen, but for this specific reason, I take it.
This undercover.
That
I
would
keep it-
blow
I
her
keep it at
cover.
home.
I know.
Yes. As far as what I'm looking for, I'll answer it a little bit in reverse.
Okay.
So first, before I'm an editor or a critic, I'm also a regular diner like you guys. So the first thing I really am looking for is service. And the best type of service is a service that you don't notice. So is my water always being refilled? Is my wine glass always being refilled? Are all the plates getting cleared at the same time and bringing new cutlery to us? One of my pet peeves is when we are sharing something and they don't bring sharing spoons. So then the food is nice and hot, and then I'm looking for the waiter and that kind of stuff. So service that you don't notice is like the best type of service. And the other thing I would say is, again, just before going into like critic mode, is the bread. Because it's kind of like the first intro,
good.
unless you had a cocktail, to what the kitchen's gonna bring out. And if it's like really good homemade bread and they've really taken that time to make it in-house, that really shows that like people are caring and they really want to like put their best foot forward. But also, tip, save room for dessert, because if the bread's good, the dessert's probably gonna be really good too. So just like a tip.
I know normally I'm like, no, we're not going to do dessert. But for you, you're like, I need to have like appetizer,
Yes.
Everything.
So the bread will tell me right away if I'm gonna be excited for dessert, if I'm gonna be like, oh, it was a frozen dessert they pulled out of the freezer.
So
for
the
example.
bread
You know
sets
what I
the
mean?
tone.
It does. It definitely does.
Oh,
This justifies my carb addiction.
Yes, absolutely. As far as when I go in and now I'm actually working, the first thing I'll do, I'll research the chef. So something that a normal diner may or may not do unless you're like a really big foodie and you love the chef that you're going to. So where were they? What are they doing? What have they been doing? And then the other thing would be just like what they're trying to do. So one of the really famous former New York Times editor, Ruth Reichel, I love her. If you haven't read any of her books, definitely check them out if you're a foodie. But she's always saying that you should really, as a food critic, really judge the restaurant on like what they're trying to do, not what you want them to do as a person. So, for example, someone that's putting out Peruvian food, maybe what they're trying to do, what that chef really wants to do, is classic, traditional, amazing ceviche. So that's what I'm going to be judging him on, or her. If it's something where it's ceviche, but with their own take, what does that mean? Are they doing like tropical ingredients because we're in South Florida? And then I'll judge it based on that. So it really just depends on like what their point of view is and what their voice is.
Right, because not everybody's going to do to the book traditional, there's like fusion or
Correct.
contemporary takes on things.
Right.
So that always makes it more interesting.
Yeah, so I want to take myself out of it and really focus on what they're trying to do and if they're accomplishing that.
and do you get that from reading the menu? Like, how do you even kind of answer that, just by the dish itself?
Research, and then just like talking to the waiter. I mean, so for someone that works in a restaurant, they're really about hospitality and they really want to give you guys the diners a good time. So they're really passionate about what they're there for, what they're serving, how they're doing it, what are the ingredients. So just like asking a lot of questions and kind of feeling it out.
And this kind of reminds me of the conversation that we had with our arts editor, John Thomason, where a lot of people are like, I love the arts and I want to write about the arts. But it's like, you really have to understand all genres of art, even ones that you don't enjoy. And that's the same with food, where you have to understand different cuisines and the chefs. I mean, it's kind of like a soap opera with these chefs. You know what I mean? They used to be at this place and now they're at this place and they open this place. Or, this is kind of like their style and what you can expect. So like the research part of it, I imagine, is huge.
Yes. Always having that like backstory in my head before I go in.
Now, is there like a specific cuisine that you love the most, and then one that you're just like, not my fave?
That's
Simpatico.
I love Italian food.
There's no shortage here, so you're good.
Yes, but I also love, Thai food and Latin food. I'm Colombian, so Latin food. So it's just really, I love all food. Honestly.
Yeah, so there's nothing you don't, is there something you don't eat?
No.
Yeah.
There's some things that I don't love, but I'll still eat them. And again, it's about appreciating what they're doing with that specific dish. And I can always do that.
And I've noticed in your reviews where even items that, you're maybe not a fan of, but you know what it's supposed to be like, and having that understanding of it, to be able to look past, like, for example, if it's like, I don't like onions, it's like, well, because this thing has onions in it doesn't make it bad. I don't like onions.
Correct. And the other thing I try to do is for a cuisine that I'm not really familiar with, I'll try, we live in such like a multicultural world now these days that I'll try to find someone that maybe is from Peru or from Vietnam, and I'll say, hey, do you mind coming to dinner with me and, chatting about your culture?
Okay.
And let's just like chat about where you're from and what is this like, what do you think about this food? And kind of giving me a backstory about their culture, maybe if I'm not super familiar with it.
What's your favorite Colombian restaurant that's local?
So I live in Fort Lauderdale and I love Balcón. It's called Balcón de las Américas. It's like a small chain, but it always delivers good empanadas. And my favorite thing is empanada.
Oh.
Like a good meat empanada because it's crispy. So a lot of different countries have different types of empanadas, but the Colombian ones are like deep fried and super crispy, and those are the ones I love.
Yum.
That sounds good.
Now I'm hungry.
I know.
Now, how would you say the food scene has changed over the past 5 years in South Florida and Boca specifically?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's very overwhelming in the best way possible because we have I feel like sometimes I grew up in Miami, and even Miami was like a food desert. Like there was like nothing, like nobody was coming. We weren't like on the culinary scene at all. And then luckily, like now Miami blew up, and then little by little Fort Lauderdale and Boca and Palm Beach. And now it's like huge. We have like amazing restaurants, amazing chefs. You have a lot of James Beard nominated.
And now Michelin Guide is expanding. So I wanted to hear what you thought about that.
Yeah, so very excited. Michelin is coming to town. A few years ago, Michelin came to South Florida, so Miami, and then also Tampa, I believe.
Tampa Clearwater,
Tampa Clearwater, thank you.
They like to lump them together.
Yes. And then this year they announced, it's actually next week, next Thursday in Orlando, the Michelin Awards are going to be announcing the winners for 2025. And they've announced that within the 2025 announcement that they have been tasting in Fort Lauderdale. So Palm Beach, hopefully we'll get some nominations, some stars. We'll see. I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, I really like the food scene up in the West Palm Beach area. I feel like they're really.
You mentioned one of your new favorite restaurants in West Palm Beach.
Which one?
The Blue Door.
The Blue Door, yes.
Oh.
So it's a husband and wife down from Miami, and they brought their talents up to West Palm, and it's just like very small. It's called the Blue Door because you walk in through a blue door. It's mainly outdoor seating. They do have some indoor seating, but it's just like you're transported to the Mediterranean. Like the second you walk in, you're already like in vacation mode. It's super chic. It's super comfortable, and the food is just.
And what is it? Mediterranean?
Mediterranean, yeah. One of the dishes that I don't usually order a lot is chicken. Just because it could be bland, it could be a little overcooked. I could have it at home, but their chicken is really good.
Oh, I gotta try.
All right,
I'll go to West Palm just for the chicken. Yeah, it's really
That's
good.
gonna be my next stop.
What do you think about food trucks? Like
they were huge for a while. I'm still pro. There's always a food truck rally by my house that I'll check out, and it's always like a good opportunity for someone that's not sure if they want to do like a brick and mortar to like try out a concept.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants start out.
Yeah.
It's sort of like in clothing, how you have a pop-up, and it's that version of it. So it's kind of, they can test things out.
Yeah.
So speaking of, Blue Door and Michelin, what are some of your other favorites? Like if people are asking you for recommendations, which I'm sure nobody ever asks you for recommendations. In Palm Beach County, what are some of your top picks?
Okay, yes, definitely Blue Door. One of my other favorite ones is here in Boca, Kasumi. Have you guys been?
Yeah.
Not yet. At the Waterstone, right? Oh, that too's on my list.
Please put it high on the list.
Right.
Also, James Beard, chef. It's just, first of all, if you go during the day, it's beautiful. You can still get like the sun or the sun and like the water views. But then at nighttime, it's just like cool and trendy, and it kind of feels like it should be in Miami, but it's amazing because it's in Boca.
We got to do that.
And the food, the sake is great. Again, service. For me, service is like if you have good service, it just really could make the event or the dinner. And for me, I've been now multiple times on my own because I love it so much.
Yeah.
And the service always is so good.
And not to cut you off, but I think that the fact that it's on the water on the Intercoastal, I feel like we don't have enough restaurants or spots that are on the water in our Boca area.
Yeah.
So that's like, I think a really
That was
nice
a conversation I was having. There's reasons for it with development and everything, but that's for another conversation.
Okay, so what else? All right. Okay. Where else are we going?
Some places that I haven't been to, but that I'm very excited for. Bourbon Steak just opened in Delray at the Seagate. Michael Mina, he got a Michelin star for a restaurant in San Francisco. He's also James Beard. I mean, it's a big deal. His Aventura location is huge. If you go or when you go, get ready for the French fries because the French fries are chef's kiss.
I love
obviously the steak and everything is great too. But I'm
the
very
French fries.
But I'm really excited to try that out. And then Stage opened here in Midtown Boca. Chef Pushkar, again, James Beard, just amazing. He's done so well in Palm Beach Gardens. It's just Palm Beach Gardens has been so far.
Yeah.
Like, that's a drive for me.
Yeah.
It's a drive.
I've been to it. I loved it. I was so excited. Yeah. When he decided to come to Boca. So thank you, Chef. And I'm excited to check that one out too.
So when you're not eating and writing, how do you spend your free time aside from probably going to the gym? I was just saying, like, she's like so fit. I mean, if I went and ate every night, I mean, I don't know how I would
roll
keep
me in
up.
there.
Also have to thank Mom for the good genes.
Yeah.
But I think I love eating, but reading, I love reading. And then I have a therapy dog named Abigail. So she keeps me busy and we volunteer at the local VA nursing home.
Abigail is the cutest little snowball. She's a Samoyed, right?
Yep.
And she's literally like just this round circle of white.
We call her the land cloud.
The land cloud. That's exactly right. Oh my God.
So do you also get down in the kitchen? Like, do you cook?
I'm a very good eater.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
You can't do it all.
I'm a pretty good baker. So like I like to bake like banana nut breads and that kind of bread. But I can cook, but my husband, bless his soul, loves to cook. So you know what? Why would I take that away from
And
you?
you guys both love entertaining. And whenever we go over to you guys' houses, he always is like, I have bottles of wine for us to try.
We love wine. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like he has like a really stressful job. And so like when he comes home, he like loves cutting his little vegetables up and sauteing. And I'm always like, do you want help? And
Do you give him
It's like,
notes?
just drink the wine.
Do you ever give him notes? Like,
No.
the carrots were a bit.
It's a little salty. No.
So Christie's too sweet.
Well, speaking of wine, you actually just got back from a really cool trip in Napa Valley. I want to hear all
Yes.
about that.
Okay, so Napa Wine Train. It's a train that has several experiences. I think I have up to like 15, and some of them are seasonal, some of them are yearly. So for example, seasonal ones would be like kind of like the Bright Line where they do like Santa cookies and cocoa.
Yeah.
They do one during harvest, September, October, where they take you out to the vineyards and you do like the grape stomping. Like, I Love
I wanna
Lucy.
do that.
That's super fun.
Iconic
Yeah.
scene.
On the weekends, they do British tea, like high tea in this beautiful train car with like flowers and the English tea sets and everyone dresses up. So it's super fun. But the two experiences that we got to do for the trip were the Legacy experience. So that's 6 hours. Get ready. It's a long time. So you just have to get ready because it's a 6-hour commitment. But you get on this train. I think it's like 36 miles round trip. And you go into the vineyards. And the whole time you're just like drinking and eating. It's the best way to see Napa if you've never been. But if you've been, it's like super relaxing. And they take care of everything. And then you hop off at 2 different vineyards. different wineries, and you taste their wine, and it's just like a really fun, interactive experience.
Sounds awesome.
That's on my bucket list now.
Yeah. And then the second one was the Dome, the Vista Dome. So it's one of like only 10 cars that were ever produced with the full dome, the glass dome. So again, you're like in the vineyards, looking at the vineyards, drinking wine, having this beautiful 4-course meal, and it's just very relaxing and decadent, and I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it was really
My
fun.
Napa Valley experience was very different. Still great, but it wasn't that luxe.
This is very luxe.
She's like very, very different.
She knows how
know.
to
She
do
knows
it.
how to live.
She does. I mean, she travels the world, and we're all along
Yes.
for the
the
ride
ride.
via Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have
Yes.
any like travel tips for foodies?
Yes. So now that everyone's getting ready for the summer trips, I think one of my best ones that I do not want to keep, I love sharing this with everybody. I think whether you love traveling and planning every second of your trip, because there are people like that, I'm one of them, depends on the trip, but everything is planned, or you're one of those people that are YOLO and you just show up to a place and you'll figure it out. Regardless of what your style is, you want to eat good food.
Yeah.
And for places that you've never been, it's kind of hard to sift through like the trip advisors. And there's a lot of great websites, but it's just very overwhelming sometimes. So Michelin, speaking of Michelin,
Yeah.
if you download their app, they have a really great app. And yes, I understand that some people don't want to spend the hundreds of dollars on a dinner or the 4 or 5 hours. So I totally get that. And I think Michelin did a great job where they created a category called Bib Gourmand. So on the app, you can just go put wherever you're going or where you're at and click on the Bib Gourmand. And what that means is that Michelin is giving it kind of like its stamp of approval for quality food, but the price point is much more affordable.
Okay.
So it's never let me down, knock on wood. But it's just like very delicious restaurants that aren't going to cost you a lot of money.
So they're not just doing the
that.
Michelin stars; they're also like,
Correct.
recommending local
Yeah, they're giving love
restaurants.
to like the small
Yeah.
mom and pops.
Which
for
is
sure.
nice, because I think,
Yeah.
honestly, when you think of Michelin, you think a little bit more of highbrow.
I'd like to. How did you say that again?
Michelin.
Etui. Continue.
No, but it's true. It's nice that, like you said, they're sharing the love for other, local restaurants that might not be at the Michelin level, but still, super good and delicious.
Right.
So,
Right. Yep.
good tip.
Love that.
Well, thank you so much, Christy. We loved having you on, and maybe we can convince you to come on in the future. Maybe give us some of your thoughts on some other
Yeah.
restaurant
I know,
openings.
dish out some more.
Dish it. Yay. Happy to come out and dish.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks, ladies. It was fun.
I vote for having Christy back on every
Big
couple
time.
months or something like that. That would be great.
She has the
Absolutely.
best job.
Seriously.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah, well, we'll have her come on next time and talk about like when things get difficult or, when service isn't good. And, we have to have conversations on do we want to run this review, but we will
Ooh.
keep, that's a whole conversation.
Oh, I want to know more.
I
And we've got to go undercover with her.
I know.
That's got to happen.
It's like Harriet the Spy with our notebooks.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, spy time.
Yeah.
But what are you guys' like go-tos for special occasions? As we talked before about like our lunch spots. What about special occasion restaurants or ones that just like nail it every time?
I don't really have any. Whatever is hot at the moment, that's where I go. Or I contact one of you guys and say, hey,
Yeah.
what do you recommend?
Actually, you did.
Where did you go for your
we
anniversary?
went to
Amar, right?
Amar, in Delray.
Yeah.
It was very good.
That
It was
actually I
very
think is
good.
in the review this issue.
It was very good. Let me tell you, the chicken hummus, I don't know what they put in that thing, but when I was speaking to one of not the chef, I was speaking to, I think, one of the waiters, and they said they marinated for like days, the chicken beforehand. And obviously the hummus is like, homemade and all that good stuff. But the chicken in said hummus, my God, it was so good. We went back on Valentine's Day. That's
Ooh,
how
Really?
so you
good.
see, we
Yeah.
made a good
And we
recommendation.
we featured them because they relocated and expanded their location. So I remember I was trying to think when you were asking for recommendations, I was like, what did Christy just write about? I gave you a list.
That's, just read Christie's reviews.
I
and
gotta
then you
add
just-
Chrissy to the
yeah.
group chat now.
Who needs a Michelin app when you've
Well, you
got
got
Christie?
The Christy app. Ask Christy.
Seriously.
What are your go-tos?
Well,
Olivia?
we really love this amazing Italian restaurant called Pasta and And it's really good. I think it's like a Coral Springs area and a nondescript strip mall, but you walk in, it's ultra chic and just really everything is, handmade. All the pasta, everything is fresh. And we just really, really love it. It's truly a treat when we go there. Or like for a date night, like a last minute date night, we kind of just go to like a steakhouse like Gallagher's or Abe and Louie, sit at the bar. At least you can't go wrong with that. But pasta and...
I was going to say Abe and Louie's, if you want to like have like a special occasion or something like that. I was really impressed with their service. And at first I was like, oh, is it going to be one of those like old steakhouses?
Yeah.
But it's just like the service was right on top. The server was so nice and making conversation. Like it was a lot more relaxed considering
they know
that
you.
Yeah.
Like, and they make a really good dirty martini. That balance.
Yeah.
It was like just right.
And then in that same little area, not just totally coincidence, Seasons 52, like it's just consistent.
Yeah.
And so like my mother-in-law loves going there. And so like either for happy hour or like a last minute, and it's always packed, especially during season.
Yeah.
And they change up their menu every season. So I always like that. And then in Fort Lauderdale, Jack took me for my birthday to Runway 84.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
And I hadn't actually gone before they did the big renovations. And, we went there as regular people, not a media diner, whatever. And I remember they asked us to move our seats because they had some sort of like a mix up with seating or whatever. And they were so nice about it. And they were just like, hey, I'm really sorry. We hadn't even gotten our drinks yet. So it really wasn't even a big deal. But they were like, they gave us free appetizers. They're like, we just, again, wanted to really, let you know that we appreciate
I love that.
you moving 3 tables over or whatever. But just, that just...
The trek, yeah.
Exactly, I know, right? And then they had like the Sinatra type music, and I really loved the vibe. I ended up going back there for a girlfriend's birthday party, and it was really fun. So I would recommend that too.
Man, this episode is making me so hungry. But not just for like boring food. Like I want to go all out, you know.
I'm really excited about Stage. That's like...
So I went there for lunch with a friend like 2 weeks ago, and it was really good. And we looked at the menu, and a lot of the things were like, well, what's this? What's that? So it's kind of like a surprise.
Yeah.
It was very flavorful. Very good.
Yeah.
I love that. One of my go-tos, I don't really dine in Miami anymore.
I know.
from
I'm like,
Miami.
it is too...
It's just so far.
And that's another conversation, but I remember being able to get to Miami from Fort Lauderdale in like 45 minutes door to door. Those days are gone.
No, done. But I will say, every time I'm down there, I always eat at Komodo. I love Komodo. Like, the food is so
The Instagram girly in you is like, yes.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. But it's really good.
And then by the time this episode comes out, Motec will have opened.
I can't wait for that one too, by the way, because I just saw actually Boca Mag's post on Instagram.
Written by Christie.
Of course. All roads go back to Christie.
Yes.
Exactly.
But I'm actually really excited for that one. That would be a good one. Well, she already did the review, so we can't go with her. But I was going to say that'd be a good one
She
for us.
hasn't done a review of
Oh,
Motec.
okay. We're going to go with
I think
Christie.
you just botched it for us. I don't know.
That is the one.
By the as we're filming it, it's not open yet.
Well, she could have gotten a preview, but she doesn't do that.
Yeah,
so,
I know. And she likes to give them a couple of months because you don't want to base a restaurant on like
Right
opening
away,
day
yeah.
when they're still getting, you want to let them get their
feet
footing
wet.
and stuff.
Well, if you guys see a resi for Beyonce, just know it's us.
Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and what
Who
would you
should
be?
I be?
Who should you be?
I mean,
J-Lo.
J-Lo, okay. On my 5th divorce,
Maybe she'll get it right eventually.
yeah.
You know what? I hope she does. The millennial in me has been rooting for her, and
It's so much roots I can give. I need to take some of mine back.
Well, I wanted, before we close out here, if you're interested in reading, Christie and all of our food stories, obviously go on bocamag.com, but we also have The Dish, which is our weekly newsletter that we put together all of our food news. So you can definitely check that out, and obviously on Instagram. And then also follow us, Palm Paradise, on social media. We're on TikTok and Instagram. Follow us on all of your favorite podcasting networks as well as YouTube. Please subscribe.
Yes.
Yes, we
That
need
it helps
the
us
love.
grow.
Yes,
And then
yes.
Boca Magazine on Instagram. Subscribe in paper, also online. And I don't know. That's
All
all
the
I have-
things.
All the things. Subscribe to all the things. So this is Palm Paradise.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.